Welcome back to Rosario plus Vampire Anime Review Part 2. This is reviewing the second season of the series, which is known as Kapaku 2. That's what it's called. Like the first season, this one is 13 episodes long. And like the first season, which did adapt the manga, this one loosely adapts it. I would say about 2 or 3 of the episodes are actually adapted from the manga itself. Actually, about 4 of them are. I would say the opening episode is kind of a loose adaptation of Chapter 1 of Season 2. There is another episode that's an adaptation of Chapter 9. The Pendulum episode, I would definitely say about the second to last episode, this third to last episode of the season, is another one that's an adaptation from the manga. Particularly the first series, and of course episode 2 is. A lot of the other ones feel like filler. Well, this season is noteworthy for introducing 3 new characters to the series. One we kind of got hints at back in the pilot episode of the series, Tsune's cousin. Brother Crew, you actually see her in the opening episode this season. She comes back at least in 2 other episodes. Yeah, she comes back in 2 other episodes, and that's all you see of her. The only new character that pops up in this season that's here for the entire season is Mocha's little sister, and she's here for pretty much the entire season. And she's kind of the main villain in the way of the entire season, basically trying to do stuff to get rid of the Rosario stuff. She has nothing against Tsune. She has nothing against him. She doesn't like that cross that Mocha has to wear, because she doesn't like the sweet, innocent Mocha. She likes the tough and fierce one, the inner Mocha, which she considers to be, her real sister. And she spends the majority of the season trying to get rid of the dang thing. By the end of the season, she kind of does succeed at that, by nearly destroying the barrier that protects the entire school. So, Tsune has to go visit Mocha's father, get a new one, fight him because what happened at the end of season 1, which is actually referenced in the final episode of the season, and another episode, which I'll get to that one soon, where Mocha gave Tsune some of her blood, and he's part vampire in a way, so he fights him in a pretty good brawl, and ends with Mocha. Of course, basically, it's his inner Mocha basically taking over for the past couple episodes after she kind of gave up her Rosario. And she had, he fought her, and of course, her father gained her father's respect by taking the Rosario out of his hand. Yep, without him looking. And of course, gave the Rosario back, took a little while for her to put it back on, and bam, she's back normal. But there's many other strange things that happens this season. Oh yes, there's an episode where the narrator of the series becomes, throughout the season, he becomes Mocha's little sister's pet. Even transforms into various different objects, like a hammer, a club with spikes. At one point, he becomes a villain of an episode where he seduces all the women to fall in love with them. Except, of course, for Mocha's little sister. She apparently is immune to all of his strange things that he does. And he gets defeated by Inner Mocha or his master, by both of them basically kicking him and saying, "Know your place." Yep. Let's see. There's various times, at least about twice the whole season, where they go on trips to the human world. The first one actually takes up 2 episodes of the season. The first one, where they end up fighting a group of a monster gang. And, of course, Mocha's sister becoming their heavy hitter, though she's able to get defeated so easily. Does this group come back later on this season? No, they only appear for this one episode, and that's it. Also, they do bring back one character from the previous season, one of the Security Council people. Yeah, she... Okay. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Beats the monster gang, and that's, of course, Mocha wants to spend time alone with Tsune, and she finally does at the end of the episode. The next episode was one episode I was really looking forward to. This did pretty much happen in the manga. This episode was an adaptation of Chapter 39, where the girls meet Tsune's mother. Though his cousin was not in the chapter. That was something they added, which I thought was really nice, the fact they did it. I mean, first, Mocha shows up. Of course, Tsune had for a day off, so he go visit his mother. Obviously, the first time is because he didn't have time to. Second time, he actually did. So, when they go visit her, he's just sitting down having tea, and then all of a sudden they're knocking at the door. And it's Mocha, and his mother screams because a gorgeous woman is actually asking to see Sune. Yep. And then, of course, they go up to his room, and of course, she, of course, gets knocked into his bed by pure accident. Of course, he knocks out. And then all of a sudden, the other girls show up. First is, yeah, and of course, he's like feeling his sheets. All of a sudden, he feels something very squishy. And it's Konoru's breast. Yeah, she's hiding underneath his sheets for some reason. Missouri is hiding in his closet, and Yuriki comes right through the window. And they start brawling in his room, and of course, soon his mother is like, what in the world is going on? Why are these 4 beautiful women fighting over you? Who's fighting your bedroom? And of course, soon his cousin, of course, gets brought over, and she gets to meet them all. Of course, Konoru and Missouri have a big brawl that caused some damage. From what I can tell, when they show for the damage, it's very minor. I mean, they knocked down one pole. They caused some walls to be damaged. I mean, the amount of damage they do is very minor at best. Yeah, it's not like severe or collateral damage. I mean, the only person aside from, well, Yuriki who had to basically fight, and of course, Inamaka had been brought up to basically punish them, and of course, they had to go back home because they broke the rules. All their passes were revoked. Oh yeah, there's really one really funny scene in the episode where you have Sune basically in the bathroom, basically doing, and of course it's a Japanese style bathroom, just washing himself, and then Konoru comes in wearing a towel, and then you have her talking to him for a little while, and then Missouri comes out of his bathtub, which is basically in ice for some reason, and then Yuriki basically accidentally knocks up Konoru's towel, exposing herself right in front of Sune. Yes, and she's one of 2 women who actually do this the entire season, who expose themselves right in front of him. The other, of course, is Missouri, who actually did it twice in the manga. Yeah, she does it in a later episode when Konoru shows up at the academy, and she exposed her breasts to him, and he says, they look like cherries. Yes. Which I thought was kind of funny, but yeah, this is one of those various women who actually have a thing for him. Of course, I should point out, though, the second time that she does this in the manga, she basically undid her kimono and basically exposed him almost fully butt naked right in front of him in the middle of snow. Of course, don't throw them around. All she had underneath that thing was basically a pair of panties. I'm not kidding. This seriously did happen in the manga. It happened in season 2. Yeah, probably one of the most well-written arcs in the whole manga, where she got sort of almost violated by this other guy who had no interest in her at all because of some idiot snow goddess. And basically, Sasune, when he found out what he did to her, he nearly killed him for it. And of course, Kuruno basically erased her first kiss with her making out with her. Yes, a lesbian kiss in a manga. Too bad they never showed us in the anime. Nope, they did have an episode where they had the skiing trip, which was loosely, I'd say partially adapted from that, but completely different story altogether. Now, the 3 episodes they do in the season where they go to the human world are quite interesting, well-written episodes. And of course, Mocha gets a chance to have a private conversation with Sune's mother. And of course, Sune's mother knew all about her. Of course, she didn't know she was a woman. And talk about how somewhat scared she is, and she's kind of Sune's best friend. And of course, there was a little scene earlier where Sune's talking with his mother, like, they're just friends from school. And they're all like, what? We're friends from school? It's just so funny. Yeah. Let's see. The skiing one, that was funny. And of course, he also get a chance to meet his mother, his father, where he's disguised as an abominable snowman for no reason. Yep. Of course, in the second episode of the season, this is actually, with the ski trip was actually the second time he met Missouri's mother. The first time was actually one of the 2 Parents' Day episodes, where they had Missouri's mother show up, and she acts almost exactly like her daughter, just hiding behind a desk for like no reason. And I don't know why no one points this out, though, is that her mother looks exactly like her, except she's just an older version of her. As for Kasuma's mother, I mean, the way that Missouri's mother basically is dressed in a traditional Japanese kimono. In the case of Konoru's mother, she's dressed like a socialite. And of course, there are frequent jokes about her size of her breast, because she shows up twice in the season. She shows up in this episode, second episode, and she also shows up in the final episode of the season, where she tries to get both her and where she and Missouri's mother try to get both these two girls to marry Sune because of him being mopey or what happened to Aramaka. Trying to think now, what else was it? That covers majority of stuff I could think of when it comes to this particular season. There was one particularly, well, the one episode where they had the bad dress up. Of course, the whole merit thing. That actually, the episode 10. That's actually it was episode 11. I think it was. This is actually adapted from an actual chapter in the manga. I think it was chapter 38. I think it was when Kanro showed up at Yurikei Academy, coming the same way she did in the manga, basically by the mysterious bus that comes between the human world and the monster world. And pretty much, mostly, the episode itself is pretty much presented exactly the way the manga presented it. From what I can tell, no alteration. Though they did make one alteration. This is one of 2 times this happened this whole entire season. Where Mocha gets split in half. And where she splits into 2 Mochas. The inner and outer Mocha basically take up screen time. They even do the same thing in the final episode. Where briefly, oh yeah, we see 2 Mochas. For absolutely no reason. Also, this season is noteworthy for having, with the exception of Ruby, all 4 girls basically, well, with the exception of Missouri, seeing them in nude. Yep. In the case of Mocha, this happens twice. The first time this happens, she's with Yurikei, who is transformed into an adult. And the second time is when she is about to go into a hot spring, though she has to basically dump herbs in the hot spring because vampires weak against water in this continuity. Though apparently they're not weak against sunlight. And there's no mention of weak against garlic or wooden stakes. Just that they're weak against water. Because it's pure. Yep. Let's see. Kanro, only for her it's happened twice. Yurikei has happened twice. Both in adult and child form. Missouri was the only one who did not kind of do this. She kind of did this in one episode when she kind of turned to ice. But you never got a chance to see her in the nude. Nope. Never did. Yeah. Though it's kind of implied, and they had one episode which was a series of shorts. One of them was a loose follow-up to what happened in the last season, would have the sexy math teacher who tried to seduce Sune, try to get payback for what happened. Of course, well, she got her butt beat. She basically got defeated, not by Mocha, but by their homeroom Catwoman. Yeah, where she basically wore a costume that looked like one of the old Hellcat costumes from Marvel Comics. I'm not kidding. If you see this episode, if you read Marvel Comics, you know what Hellcat's costume looks like. This woman's costume looks almost exactly like it, and then she runs away because part of her outfit gets ripped and she exposes her panties. And like Yurikei, the panties have got bears on them for some reason. Yeah, no idea why. It's particularly very bizarre. Yeah, the whole episode was just Ruby getting jealous of the other girls having short skirts. Though that was the thing with the show because of all the frequent panty shots. And she wanted the girls with longer skirts. They did, and then by the next episode, they're back wearing the normal skirts they were wearing for pretty much the whole series. Yeah, this overall was a really good season, though it felt partially very fillerish. I did like it that you have Kaoru and Missouri's mother basically having, when they fought each other in the second episode. They didn't exactly fight each other in the final episode. They did have to fight their daughters because they really wanted to save Mocha. Of course, Mocha had to kick Sune, inner Mocha had to kick Sune not once but twice this whole season. Though they had this eye-catch thing where they frequently show Mocha in the nude for like no reason at all. Also, they gave her a new transmission sequence in this season instead of like it was last season where they have her basically size of her body increase, and here it's like swap, kind of like a body swap thing. It's particularly very bizarre why in the world they changed the transmission sequence for season 2. Yeah, I thought that was really weird. Let's see, what else? Yeah, otherwise, this was a really good season. I personally enjoyed it. Yeah. I kind of wish they would have finished up in the manga because this season looks like they adapted, I'd say, a handful of chapters. I'd say like about 2 or 3 chapters from season 2, from the season 2 manga. And I'd say maybe a handful of chapters from the original series. And that's it. It seems like most of the season was filler, like having filler episodes, but they're pretty good. Also, in the final episode of the season, because, well, Mocha's father found out about Mocha's little sister basically behind a lot of the schemes this season. Yeah, and basically her be responsible for the ruckus last 2 episodes. She got punished by being spanked. by her own father. And he did this while standing, of course, holding up one leg and, of course, holding her over and spanking her. And next time you see her, she's got a red hand mark on her rear end. Not kidding. That's seriously how, well, kind of the last time you see her before she sees, so uses the mirror, and actually how she gets the mirror back. Never explained. It's just they had the random ending to this thing, and that's really it. This anime actually ended in Japan almost 10 years ago. The the last episode I can think of was released back in 2010. I looked at my line, it was 2010. So basically, it's been 8 years since this dub came out. But I gotta say, I thoroughly enjoyed this series. I kind of wish they would adapt a little bit more of the manga. I mean, yes, they did adapt in the case of the first season. They adapt like the second and third arc out of order, but it's fine. It's done really well. I appreciate what the anime did. Though I thought was odd though for this season, they just, well, they did keep up the panty shots in this season. They kept those, in which I heard was criticized on networks for cutting those out. But here, yeah, they kept them in. Though apparently this season had a thing for showing all the women in nude. With the exception of the teachers, they didn't show them in nude. They showed like 4 of the 5 girls who actually have a thing for the main character. Showed them in a nude. You have to see the episodes themselves to basically, well, as for why the whole thing of Yoruke turning to adult, apparently she didn't like being a kid, so she briefly turned into adult. For an episode turned this way by a nurse, who is also one of the monsters of the series. Yet in the manga, she's a minor villain, and yet in this episode, she appeared just for this one episode. And then she never appears again. Though the sexy math teacher, she did show up a few times after her one initial appearance. Yeah, also Geen, the president of the newspaper club. Yeah, he doesn't really show up this season that much, despite the fact in the actual manga he shows up good much. Also, the guy is a pervert, and he's voiced by Ian Sinclair. Which makes it, for me personally anyways, the second character I've seen, played by Ian Sinclair, who is a pervert. The other, of course, is Brooke, but he is actually, well, very reserved about it. Geen is very outright. Though he does take pictures of these women in nude, he basically takes pictures of them changing, not butt naked. It's never explained why he does this for, just that he does. Yeah. But I still kind of wish we had more episodes, because this was just a really damn good series. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The only reason why I got into this series because I found one of my friends on Facebook. He apparently had watched the series years prior, and he personally enjoyed it, so I figured, oh, why not check it out myself? I watched it, I'm like, wow, this is really, I love the humor for the show, the animation, I don't have a problem, and in case you're wondering, I have no problem with the fan service in this series. Yeah, the fan service has been outrageous, but it's fine. I'm a man. I can deal with it. Female women probably have a problem with it, especially seeing, well, like, most of the female characters who pop up in this series without bloody clothes on. I don't have a really big problem with it at all. Yeah. But at least it's not a hentai series. No, it's not. Some might describe the series as a harem series, but Sune does not get into that with any of the women at all, the whole series, in case you're wondering. Though he doesn't know with Mocha in the epilogue of the season 2 manga. Though even though that the other women still have things, are still in love with him. Otherwise, so that's really it. Stay tuned for part 3. Well, I'd like to see if this series ever did come back. But until you see the next review, bye.